Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round number 5 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix and the start of the European season. If you guys have missed any of the previous episodes, in the top right hand corner of your screen there is a full link to the entire career mode playlist so far, and any of the episodes you might have missed if you want to get up to speed up until this point if you are new to my channel, guys. And yeah, before we jump into any spoilers, guys, do that if you are wanting to see exactly how we got to this point. Now for this weekend at Spain we have no rain expected, and also there's no upgrades on our car this weekend. Mercedes, on the other hand, have brought some big upgrades, and they've actually re-overtaken us as the fastest cars. Red Bull also continuing to push on there, and also the midfield as well bringing some big upgrades. We're probably the only team that hasn't brought an upgrade to this race, which is quite rare for Barcelona. But also for this race, guys, a big change to the series. Our first race with 108% AI. I've been doing 110 for the entire career mode so far, and it's just been a little bit too hard for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I can do hard and I can put up with a lot and I can try and drive fast, but it was a little bit on the I wasn't enjoying it side of things. It was a bit too hard, like I can suffer a few bad races, but I wasn't enjoying it that much. And I also want to actually compete in qualifying, because I'm hating being so passive in qualifying, because the AI are just quicker in quali than they are in the race. So I'm trying to find that balance of me being able to try and compete a bit more in quali but still have a tough race. And we're going to test out 108 and see how it goes and see if it suits me more. So we're going to try and judge that on qualifying here today. And please, guys, give it a chance before you start rage commenting. I'd greatly appreciate you guys giving it a chance. I'm going to do 108 for the next few races and see how it goes and see if we get better races, a bit more of a better balance. And I'll make a decision later on down the line in terms of what I'll do going forward. But please give it a chance, guys, before you start judging it, before anything's even happened. So we're going to jump into qualifying. We're going to see how we go. It's going to be an overcast / sunny condition session. It's going to be mixing up a little bit. So yeah, we're going to see how we go, and hopefully we can try and have a decent session. We've struggled with qualifying this season so far. We scraped into Q3 in the last race, and sorry, not the last race. We scraped into Q3 at China, and then in Baku we got also Q3, and it was very messy. In Bahrain we got knocked down Q2. The only qualifying we've had decent so far was Australia, where we qualified P6. Other than that, every single qualifying session has been a pretty big mess, and we've even on our best lap we've been a comfortable 1.5 seconds off my teammate or the Mercedes. So it's really not been that good. So I'm hoping to try and improve here, and I'm also hoping that the AI are not as quick around these tracks now as we get into the European season. I'm hoping these tracks will give us more of an opportunity to try and find our pace. And based on our practice, it looked pretty good. The car was hooked up nice, we did pretty good in the practice programs, and then in Q1 it kind of confirmed that the 108 setting is much better for me here. You can see we're only a few tenths down in sector 2, and we're more competitive here. We're still nearly half second down, and we're all over the place. They're leaving the final corner, but the good thing is that we're more competitive across the line, and we are going to go P5 behind both Mercedes, my teammate, and also I believe Lucas Weber. But still, we're competing, and it was a much better session, much more encouraging. We got through into Q2 much more comfortable than we have done in the past, so I was very happy. The big concern here is the gearbox. You can see in the bottom right, my gearbox is quite worn, and we're only 4 races in, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. That's going to be a big factor this weekend. And even if we get away with it this race, we need to do 6 races with the gearbox, which means that gearbox needs to last this race and the Monaco Grand Prix weekend as well. So it's going to be big pressure. In terms of Q1 though, we get through in P5, and you've got Hamilton on mediums there, you've got Verstappen on mediums, and then Vettel leading the way up front, and we're a little bit further behind. So still, we're a long way off the pace. We need to improve where we can, but I'm going to take a chance here, and in Q2 I'm going to try my luck on the mediums and see if it pays dividends for us, because I believe nobody else has gone for the mediums except for me. So this could be a big risk but a big reward situation here. Straight away we're going to run on board for the whole lap, and turns 1, 2 and 3 pretty nicely hooked up, to be fair. The car was working good, I had a good setup on, and I was happy with the balance. For the first time in a long time since Australia, I was quite happy with the car in terms of the way it felt. And yeah, overall you can see here now through turn number 4, again keep a nice tight line, get on the power nice and early, and then now down the hill through the left, trying to not lock up if you can avoid it, keep it nice and tight towards the end of the corner, look for that late apex and good exit speed as we now go through the kink in towards the chicane at 7 and 8. And it's all about being patient on the throttle here, don't get on too much gas too early, because otherwise you will lose the back end. And then through turn 9, little lift there, keeping it in 6th gear, opening up the DRS across the over the top of the hill, and then now look for the 100-meter board as your reference down to brake for the hairpin here at turn 10. Little lock up on the left front, but still a very smooth and tight lap so far as we now go through the kink over the bump, nice and smooth. Try and keep a nice tight apex here through the long right, and then let the car run wide on the power, and then down a couple of gears for the final kind of Mickey Mouse section here in sector 3, using the gears to really get the rotation over the curbs. A little bit too much curb on that inside left, and we lose the back end mid corner, but we get a good exit though as we run out onto the curb and open up DRS and across the line. That was a pretty okay lap. We are going to go P8, and overall that lap was very on the bubble, and I monitored the session second by second, debating whether to go back out or not, but in the end I stayed in the garage and let the session go by and let the session lapse in time. We finished P9 in the end, but that lap, if the AI had set Q1 pace, we would have been knocked out in that session, but somehow the AI was slower in Q2 than Q1, and we managed to get through into Q3 on medium, so we're going to start the race on that time. We're going to be the only person to have that advantage. So now in Q3 we're going to go for 2 runs on the soft tyres, of course, and my first one didn't go according to plan because we got 1 or 2 absolutely nailed, but then through turn 3 I pushed the limit too much and I invalidated there, as you can see, running too wide and abusing the track limits a little bit too much there. So again, the pressure's going to build as we move on towards our second attempt and our final attempt, and you know, it's all or nothing on this lap. We've got to try and deliver, and I've got to say this was one hell of a lap. With 5 seconds left to go, we just crossed the line in time, so we're going to have the optimum prime track conditions. So straight away down towards turn 1, you're looking for the 50-meter board brake just before that. 4th gear, open up turn 2, use the inside curb there to get the rotation, and then not quite flat through 3, but keep it in 6th gear, get the power down as soon as possible, let the car run wide, and then look for the brake point in towards turn 4. Use the last line on the left hand side, the last white line, as a reference. I got a little bit wider on the exit, but still we're going to get good exit speed. And now down the hill, make sure you get the car tucked in nice and early on the nose, and don't lock up if you can avoid it. Good exit speed there as we now go through the little left kink into 7 and 8, again down a couple of gears, throw the car in, hope that it sticks, power down nice and early, absolutely fantastic. And now through turn 9, commitment levels at a high here, little lift but we're still carrying a lot of speed, a little bit of a tank slapper over the top of the hill as we open DRS, and now look for the brake point down towards the hairpin and get that car slowed down. Beautiful rotation there, clipping the bollard on the inside, using 1st gear, and then over the bump, nice and smooth this time, and then keep it nice and tight once again through this long right, get on the taps nice and early, and then look for a couple more downshifts into the next right, keep it nice and tight to really open up the chicane. A little bit of a correction there mid corner, a little bit of an apex miss there this time through the left. Last time it was too much curb, this time missed apex, but still nice and tidy and a very smooth lap as we run up to the line here. Let's see where we go, and it's going to be second place for us in qualifying. Fantastic lap there and a front row start, our first one of the entire season and the first one of this entire career mode so far. Sebastian Vettel P3, Lewis Hamilton on pole position, of course, the qualifying maestro himself in P1 in the Mercedes, and overall a very good session, guys. You know, very, very happy with it, and no complaints from me. Devon Butler only P5, and Lucas Weber actually split Lucas Weber actually managed to get in amongst it and split the big teams, and he got P4 for Red Bull and Verstappen P6. That being said, though, that's the qualifying results, and you guys remember from before, I mentioned the gearbox because it was a big concern, and after that qualifying result I changed my mind, and I'm going to put a new gearbox on for this race, guys, because second place is important and we can win this race. So with that being said, let's jump into it.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. The Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Martinez completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Butler, Max Verstappen and Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Sainz and Lando Norris, Perez, Grosjean, Alexander Albon and Weber. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Kvyat, Raikkonen, Lance Stroll and George Russell. Giovinazzi and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right guys, here we are on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix, our first front row start of the entire season, and we start alongside Lewis Hamilton, the championship leader here today for the Spanish Grand Prix in Catalunya. I think I'm the only person in the top 10 running the medium tyres, and it's going to play a big factor in this race, and I'm going to be a massive wildcard, because if you look at the race strategy, we're going to go for the one stop. It's going to be very tricky. Tyre wear is going to be pretty damn high, and we're going to see how we get on, but I think we've got to go for it. You know, the one stop's going to be the way. Try and have track position. Hopefully we've got enough straight line speed to keep everybody behind. Fuel-wise, we're going to want one extra lap of fuel. And I meant to say run there, not one, but you know what I mean anyway. So we're going to run one extra lap of fuel in the car. And we're going to go for the medium-hard strategy. So hopefully it pays off for us. And the car performs well. And this is going to be our best chance of a race win. It would be a great way to start off the European season. So let's see how we get on. And let's try and see if we can try and win this race. It's time for round number 5 for the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's jump into it. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here for the Catalan GP. Lights out and away we go in Catalunya. Not a terrible start, to be fair, to say we're on the mediums. That's not too shabby. We're going to try and get to the middle of the road, try and stop Devon Butler coming through. Sebastian Vettel, they're trying to challenge Lewis around the outside of turn 1. Inside for turn 2, they're side by side here. Come on, Seb, try and get him right on the outside of turn 3. Shades of Fernando Alonso, and he does it. Lewis is slow, and we're going to slip past as well. Can we get Lewis Hamilton down the inside here? Into turn 4, we're a little bit hot on the brakes. We're going to run deep. That's going to allow Lewis to switch back underneath. We're going to just hold the inside line, though, for the next corner. A little bit of a lock up there. Tyres are not up to temperature just yet, but we are going to take the position. And it's 1-2 for Ferrari here, straight away in Catalunya. And, of course, Seb's going to be on the 2-stop, so at the minute...
Stay alert for threats around you.
Yep, cheers Jeff. At the minute, everyone's on the 2-stop, we're on the 1-stop, so it's all about just trying to see how much pace we can run in this early phase on these medium tyres. Hopefully we can try and keep Sebastian somewhat in our sights and he doesn't get away too far. But at the minute, this is the best way we can get the best result of this race, by me being on the 1-stop and holding everybody up behind, letting Sebastian open up a gap, because he's on the same strat as everybody else. But what a start there from Sebastian, and gaining 2 places there on lap 1, getting past myself and Lewis. But lap 1 draws to a close, and we're P2, which is good, so exactly the same place as we started in, and we get a good enough exit. I think, let's see if Lewis will challenge. Let's see what the straight line speed is saying early on. Looks like Lewis is close. I'm going to crank it up a little bit there. That Mercedes is quick. He's going to go to the outside here. I'm going to have to go defensive into turn 1. Hold the inside line. And there we go. We're going to keep Lewis behind for now. How long can we do that for? We will have to see. Okay then, Seb setting the pace, end of lap 2.
Entering lap 3 now, DRS has been enabled.
Lewis is pretty quick on the straight, so we're going to struggle to keep behind, I think, especially now that DRS is enabled. So we're going to have to pray we get a great exit out of the final couple of corners to really make sure we open up.
It's dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
I wouldn't say that's exactly true, but we need to make sure Lewis does drop back a little bit out of the final few corners. Personal best, 23.4. We've got a nice gap to Lewis actually, so we'll be okay. For now, that's a good exit, and that's the kind of thing we need to be doing. Feels like I'm already starting to find some pace and lap quicker than Lewis, and those softs could be fading already here, so this is going to favour us for now. But I need to try and drive smoothly, not drive too fast as well. I'm trying to keep a nice balance because we are going long in this race, and it's going to be a very close 1-stop in terms of tyre wear, so we need to try and be as smooth as possible and really be generous to our tyres. Another personal best. Lewis is within range here. We're going to have to turn up the engine just a little bit to make sure he doesn't get the run him into turn 1. There we go. Okay, then another personal best. Keeping up the pace, consistent pace. Vettel's not too far away, he's only 4 seconds up the road, and Lewis is nowhere near enough this time to attack me into turn 1. So we're comfortable here, we're settling into this race in this medium tyre now, and it will start coming towards us very soon. One thing you definitely notice in this game, which I really appreciate, is when the AI are on worn tyres like yourself, you can see this year they actually do drop off the pace a little bit, and they're not so bulletproof when it comes to their lap times, as I'm now starting to catch Vettel and really pull away from Lewis here. So it's good to see. So I believe Vettel comes into the pit lane. There we go.
Sebastian is in the pits.
Lewis pits in as well. Verstappen stays out. We set another personal best. Devon Butler stays out as well. But at the minute, we're very consistent with our pace. And let's try and keep it going. There we go. Devon Butler pits in. Verstappen stays out. So Verstappen going long. Could he be maybe going for the 1-stop onto the hards maybe with the soft tyre? That could be quite interesting. We do know that the Red Bull is probably out of the top 3 teams, the best one on its tyres. So if it's going to happen, it could be Verstappen who makes it happen, but that's got to be very bold on the soft tyre, surely.
Quick word on the tyres, they look okay for now, but we can see the wear. If you can't feel it already, then you'll certainly start too soon. Just be careful.
Cheers, Jeff. At the minute, I'm okay though. I'm keeping it nice and consistent. I'm barely making any mistakes. Or, to be honest, I'm not making any mistakes. There's a couple of lock-ups here and there, but generally speaking, this is the best I've ever driven on this game. And my pace is very good at the minute, very consistent. Let's have a look at the tyres. So we're scheduled to pit in lap 13. Tyre wear's around 40% on the left rear, so that's more than fine. So at the minute, we're managing things beautifully here, and the car and tyres are working just fine. So let's just keep our head down and keep doing our thing, because it's working as Verstappen pits in. There we go then. Seb's finally made his way through the traffic. He's up to P3 now on the medium tyres, so of course he's going to 2-stop as expected. I'm trying to see if I can clear Perez. I've got 3 more laps to try and open up that gap. Perez is on the hards. If I can clear Perez, then that'd be fantastic. There we go, Seb into P2. So it's once again a 1-2 for us. I think we've actually managed to gain a bit of time on Sebastian, to be honest, although now he's going to probably claw that back. Also, he's pulled out a massive gap to Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton really didn't get lucky with the traffic. That gap that I gave Vettel by holding up Lewis in that first stint turned out to be race critical, as Vettel has a massive gap now to Lewis, way bigger than before. There we go, Seb setting the pace. 22.3.
We're leading our teammate by 18.1 seconds.
Still a good pace though from us, because we're still in the very low 23s. You know, every lap I'm doing 23.0, 1 or 2. So Seb's just about underneath a second quicker than me. So that's not too bad to say. It's on fresh rubber, and I qualified on these tyres as well. So not too shabby at all.
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
Right then, there's the message. Let's try and have a nice steady lap. Don't want to push too much, because we don't want to make any mistakes. Whoa, that was not the one. I tried 5th gear there. Not the move.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Yeah, I'm on it, Jeff. Don't worry, mate. Right then, down to Lee Mix and also None ERS is trying to save a little bit while we tackle this final sector. That was a big mistake there. Using the wrong gear. At the minute, I wonder if I can clear Perez. Perez is literally he's got Norris right behind him, and Lewis is starting to catch up now. So it's going to be very close with those 3. Let's see then where we are into the pit lane. Nice and easy into the pit lane. Let's not make any mistakes. Now we've had a great race so far. Now nice steady pit entry. There we go. Nice and safe. No risks taken. Okay, let's try and have a good getaway. Let's try and sort this out. Away we go. There we go. That's a good getaway. That's better. I really concentrated there to make sure I got that getaway spot on. Here comes Sebastian. So of course we knew he was going to be behind him, but it looks like we are going to be back in clean air comfortably in P2. Look at that. We actually gained time on Sebastian there by going long.
Strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
So there we go then. Lovely stuff. And we're looking good here. The one-stop strategy is going to be the way to go. And I know that I've already told now there's going to be comments saying you should have left it on 110 for this race. But to be honest, my pace has been, you know, there or thereabouts with the big boys. It was just the fact that I made the call in qualifying to try the medium. And I got lucky, because with that lap time in Q1 I would have been knocked out. But in Q2 I somehow made it. So luck of the draw, and it's worked out in our favour. Even then, if I got knocked out in Q2 I would have gone for the same strategy anyway. And you can see how powerful the strategy is. So it wouldn't have been much different. So yeah, let's just, I'm going to say this was just a better track for me, and also I found a bit more pace. You know what, I'm going to have a stab at trying to get the fast up at the Grand Prix. I know Seb and Lewis are going to pit again for fresh tyres and probably go faster anyway, but I want to at least have the fastest lap for now, so we're going to have one stab at it. Right then, let's see if we've done enough. We've actually run out of ERS deployment, but we do get the fastest lap, so there we go. Only just by a fraction, but at least we'll own it for a little while, so there we go. Very good pace in this tyre. Even in standard engine mode, I'm going faster than Vettel at the minute, so we're actually catching up and also pulling away slightly from Lewis. So the pace is good. There we go, Seb pits in.
Sebastian's in for his stop.
So that's him on his last stop. Expect Lewis in to come in as well very soon. But we're going to retake first place, and we're going to have near enough a full pit stop advantage over my own teammate. So very good stuff here. Lewis does stay out for one more, so I'm guessing Devon Butler will probably pit in instead. But we're looking good to win this race here, and finally our season to get back on track, and big fat 25 points coming our way hopefully. That gearbox change was definitely worth it, even if it means I have to take a penalty down the line. You know, I want this win. We needed this win to get the points on the board. Okay, Lewis pits in, so I'm now going to turn down the ERS deployment to medium. Oh, sorry, low in this case, and try and save a little bit of battery. Vettel retakes P2 on the hard tyres. So at the minute, it's looking very good for a Ferrari 1-2 in this race, and that is exactly what we need for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. Okay, interestingly, Lewis has gone for another set of mediums. So a bit of a late push from Lewis Hamilton, it seems.
Some information on Stroll. They're retiring from the race.
Lance Stroll out of the race, first retirement. Will there be a safety car?
Gap to teammate behind is 16.0 seconds.
There we go, 16 seconds to Vettel. We passed the stricken Lance Stroll, the racing point.
Green flag.
No safety car or VSC it seems, so we're going to get away with that one. That would have really ruined my race if we got one of those now after such a good race so far. And there goes our extra point. Lewis, of course, on the mediums. If he's gone for the hards like Seb, then maybe we would have kept the extra point, but Lewis with the mediums is going to be much quicker, so of course he sets the fast up of the Grand Prix. So there goes our extra point. I was hoping for 26 today, but being realistic on a one stop, it's going to be quite hard to get the extra point. So still, we'll take the 25. That's not worth complaining about. I believe that's the first time all season we've lapped a car in a race. Kind of sums up our pace here today. Just like the last few races, the car is now starting to get lighter with fuel, and the hard tyres last forever. So this kind of lighter car now, I'm starting to find pace again and get quicker again, and pretty much match my personal best in standard engine mode. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have one more stab at the fastest lap on the very last lap of the race, maybe.
Okay, just to advise you, we're expecting the tyre grip to start falling off noticeably around now, but this set should be okay for a while longer despite that.
Yeah, I think it should be. It feels fine. Left rear's on 40%, but we've got a good pace. 5 to go. Let's bring it home. There we go, personal best, 22.1 in standard engine mode. We've got 2 lap cars doing battle in front, so hopefully they don't hold us up too badly. Oh dear, that's not the one. Robert, that's not the one. Very, very awkward there. It seems like the AI is still the same as last year's game when it comes to getting out of the way. They are not the best, they're very awkward. Let's see if Giovinazzi's any better. Much better there from Giovinazzi, thank you very much. Danny Kvyat out, the second retirement of the race in the Toro Rosso. A bit late for a safety car now though, so maybe a VSC or something. Seems like, again, we're not going to get anything. There he is. Personal best, 21.8. We improved by 3 tenths there. A lot of time found in the final sector. We're about half a second off from Lewis's quick lap. I don't think I've got enough pace to try and challenge. I think he's done like a 21.3, so I think we're a little bit too far off that. I'll see what I can do though. Try and save up some battery and fuel for the last lap, and there you go, 21.2 from Lewis. So he's going to start setting his fastest lap. We're going to give up, we're not going to try it, because I don't want to take any risks. I'm just going to take the win, because it's our first one of the season so far.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Fair enough, it looks like rain's on the way, but it's not going to affect this race as we're on the last lap here. And I've turned the engine down to lean mix and also low ERS, just trying to cruise to the finish now and try and save the engine as best as we can. But here we go then into the sector 3, and we're so unchallenged here. Vettel's about 13 seconds behind me at the minute, and Lewis is about 20 seconds behind. So it's been comfortable in the end, and the strategy was key. Good qualifying as well, really good qualifying. But here we go through the final few corners. Let's just take it nice and easy through here. No mistakes now as we want to get to the line relatively unscathed. And there we go through the final corner. We are going to come through to win our first race in career mode. See, Forza Ferrari. Bye. Bye.
Nice work, that's P1. Race win. Well done.
Grazie a tutti. Grazie alla squadra. Grandissimo lavoro.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Right, so there we have the final race results here for the Spanish Grand Prix, and in round number 5 we pick up finally our first win of the season here today. A 1-2 for Ferrari, with Sebastian Vettel taking second place, and that is big news for us in the championship. Further down we have Lewis running off the podium, Max Verstappen P4, Devon Butler P5, Lucas Webber P6, and then Hülkenberg, Perez, Grosjean and Lando Norris running out the top 10. In terms of the standings though after that race, first of all the Drivers' Championship, and we jump up to 3rd place and overtake Devon Butler. You know, he opened his mouth in the last episode, and you know, he overtook me for the first time this season in the Drivers' Championship, and opened his mouth and tried to brag about it, and we've clapped straight back here in Spain, and we've picked up the W before he has. So we've won a race in F1 before Devon Butler has, so I can put that one on my CV, and very, very happy with that one. Sebastian Vettel, P2, just 3 points behind Lewis. He cuts down the gap there to the 5-time world champion. In terms of the constructor standings, we retake 1st place, and we are 7 points clear of the Silver Arrows with that 1-2 finish for us. So a very good race for us here today, and big moves in the championship, so that's very, very good for us. But now we're going to move into the laptop and put some upgrades onto this car for the coming races. Let's jump into it.
Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? You left some bodywork out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip? Well, thanks anyway.
Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and we have some more interview transcripts, and to be fair, pretty interesting ones. First of all though, we're going to get into Lucas Webber, my former teammate, and he was very generous, and he just pretty much said in the first paragraph, the second one was not so important, it was mainly the first one, and he just pretty much said that he's happy for me to get the win. You know, he said that my form this season, especially in the last race at Baku, kind of made it seem like I was struggling, but you know, that kind of hid what my true talent really was and my true pace, and it really showed through today, and that was there, you know, since F2. In terms of Devon Butler though, 2 very big chunky paragraphs and some very, very big quotes from him, and he gave me a little bit of credit, you know, saying I have improved and congrats on the win, but then he also said that next time he gets a chance, he's going to try and make sure that the winning feeling he gets is, you know, crushing to me, and he wants to really try and rub it in my face next time he wins. And also claiming I was a bit lucky in that win today, which, you know, I don't really see how that was lucky, to be honest, because we got the perfect qualifying, you know, started the race in the mediums, and then that kind of set us up for success really. So yeah, Devon, just a little bit salty there in my opinion, but now we're going to move into the upgrades. Now we have 601 points, not many to work with, but maybe just enough for an upgrade. So we can either go for an engine upgrade, an aerodynamic upgrade, or a chassis one. Now Monaco is the next race, of course, so no upgrade is going to be for that race except for the gearbox one we just purchased before. So after Monaco, it is, I believe, Canada. So for Canada, I think engine power is the way to go, because we want to be nice and quick on those straights. So we're going to get an engine power upgrade and get that on for Canada. So yeah guys, that is going to be it for this episode, and we're going to see how we get on. And again, just to confirm that we are now on our 2nd gearbox, so pretty much expect us to take a penalty at some point this season, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can fit on loads of gearbox upgrades. I'll try and do another gearbox upgrade as the next one, to try and make sure we can get as many races out of the gearbox as possible. But yeah guys, also power unit as well, looking pretty good at the moment, and we're going to do Monaco next, and I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are looking forward to it too, drop a like on the video, and I'll try and see if I can do Monaco on 110% AI. I'll give it a try and see how we get on. But with that being said guys, if you did enjoy the video, drop a like I said before, and also get subscribed if you are new to the channel for daily Formula 1 content, and turn notifications to not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you haven't missed them. But other than that guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.